Thinks I should move on. Chris Eubank Jr. responds to father's retirement plea ahead of Conor-Ben rematch. Chris Eubank Jr. insists he's still capable of performing at the highest level despite calls from his father to retire. Eubank Jr. will rematch Conor-Ben on November 15th, 7 months after defeating his rival in one of British boxing's greatest bouts. Eubank Jr. and Ben put on a classic in April and will run it back in 2 months' time at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Credit Getty. The build-up to the pair's first clash at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where the rematch also takes place, was surrounded by controversy, including Eubank Jr.'s infamous egg slap at a blockbuster pre-fight press conference. But one of the biggest talking points came from Eubank Jr.'s father, Chris Eubank Sr., who repeatedly criticized his son in public for accepting the bout. Fans had expected the father-son duo to remain apart, until Eubank Sr. shockingly arrived on fight night in scenes fitting for a Hollywood movie. This seemingly repaired both men's relationship, which was reaffirmed when Eubank Jr. celebrated his birthday with his father for the first time in 6 years last week. But it hasn't changed Eubank Sr.'s feelings on his son contesting the rematch. Chris Eubank Jr. Retirement not in my line. He doesn't want me to fight, Eubank Jr. told TalkSport in an exclusive interview. I don't think he wants me to fight in general, not just this particular rematch. He thinks that at 36 years old, I should be moving on to different things at this stage of my life. But that is a father worrying about his son, and he doesn't see the things I'm doing on a day-to-day basis at the gym. I'm still capable, hungry, loving, and dedicating my life to the sport. So retirement is not in my eye line right now. He will be at this fight, and I would imagine that he was publicly against me fighting Ben the first time. I don't see that happening again for this fight. Eubank Jr. asserted he's not even thinking about retirement, rather a huge next fight with the likes of Canelo or Crawford after rematching Ben. Credit Getty. Eubank Jr. eyeing up Crawford or Canelo bout after Ben rematch. Eubank Jr.'s comments come after Terence Crawford made history by overcoming Canelo Alvarez in the fight of the century. Crawford defeated Alvarez to become the new undisputed champion at super middleweight and the first male pugilist in the four-belt era to have held the status across 3 weight classes. The American's win at the age of 37 has instilled a confidence in Eubank Jr. that he can go on to do the same thing. For sure, Eubank Jr. responded when asked if he would be interested in meeting either man after rematching Ben. These are the guys at the top of the tree. After a big win against Conor again, if the public, the Saudis, Turkey Al-Sheikh would see that I was able to face one of these men in 2026, absolutely. I would love the opportunity to get into the ring with either one of those men and test my skills against the best. Eubank Jr. has joined forces with Crawford's trainer Brian Bomac McIntyre for his rematch with Ben. He said the move was simply a tactical one to put on a more emphatic performance at the second time of asking. It was simply the fact of me and the team wanting a different approach to this fight the second time around, Eubank Jr. explained. We don't want to fight going 12 rounds, so that means the best chance of that is to employ a different strategy, tactics, and have a different mindset on what it is we need to do with Conor-Ben in the ring. That is why we brought Bomac in. Me and Bomac are 1-0 when it comes to rematches, and we are about to make it 2-0. Ben, meanwhile, has been called out by newly crowned IBF welterweight champion Lewis Crocker for a world title bout after he faces Eubank Jr.